There is something on your log pile, or on an old tree stump in the back of your yard, or maybe on the dead wood stacked against the side of your shed. Something that makes you stop dead in your tracks the very second you notice it. A wasp, but not a small one. She is enormous, easily the length of your hand, and trailing from the end of her abdomen is something that stops every single person who sees it for the first time. A thread. A dark, hair-fine needle so impossibly long, it seems like it cannot be real. It extends behind her body for several centimeters, sometimes longer than her entire body itself, and it curves gently toward the wood beneath her feet, like she is about to use it. And your brain instantly fills in the blanks with pure evolutionary panic. You look at that needle and think, if that thing lands on me, it's going to pierce right through my skin. It's weaponized. It is the classic mistake of a human brain trying to map a completely alien tool onto something it already fears. But I need you to pause right there, because almost everything your instincts are telling you right now is wrong. And what this wasp is actually doing on that wood is one of the most precise and extraordinary things happening anywhere on your property. This is the giant ichneumon wasp. Several species fall under this name, the most dramatic being Megarissa macruris, though the name most people eventually land on is simpler and more honest. The Stump Stabber. And once you understand what she is doing, you will understand exactly why. That structure trailing behind her body is not a stinger. It cannot sting you. It will not try. Everything your threat response is screaming at you right now is aimed at the wrong target entirely. What you are looking at is called an ovipositor, from the Latin egg placer, and it exists for one purpose and one purpose only: to drill through solid wood. Let that settle for a moment. Because what comes next is the part that will change how you see every old log and dead stump in your yard from this point forward. Sealed inside that wood, somewhere beneath the bark and deep into the heartwood, is a larva. Not her larva, someone else's. A horntail wasp larva, a wood-boring grub that tunneled into the tree months ago and sealed itself inside, feeding on the wood from the inside out. From the surface, there is no sign of it. No indication that anything living is in there at all. The log just looks like a log. But the stump stabber knows otherwise. She has been reading the surface of that wood with her antennae pressed flat against the bark, scanning it the way a doctor scans for a pulse, because the larva inside is moving, chewing, vibrating the wood in frequencies too faint for any human sense to detect. She feels every pulse of it. She follows it. She triangulates. And when she is certain, not guessing, not estimating, certain, she begins. The ovipositor touches the wood, and she starts to drill. She curves her abdomen upward, bends that improbable needle against the bark, and applies slow, continuous pressure. The drilling takes time. Real time. She may stand in one position for the better part of an hour, barely moving, while the tip of that hair-fine tube works its way through layer after layer of compressed wood toward a target she cannot see and has never seen. If you watch her during this process, what you notice is the stillness. She does not rush. She rocks almost imperceptibly, making micro-adjustments that are too small to follow with the naked eye. There is something almost meditative about it, though calling an insect meditative is borrowing a human word for something far older. Whatever word you choose, she will not leave until the work is done. And the work, when it succeeds, is this. She deposits a single egg through that ovipositor directly onto the horntail larva buried in the wood. An egg placed, blind, through several centimeters of solid timber onto a target the width of a thumbnail, guided entirely by vibration and chemistry, and a precision that no human instrument has ever fully replicated. And here is the dark, unsettling reality of what happens inside that sealed room. The part that you can almost feel happening in the deep, damp dark of the timber. When the egg hatches, her larva doesn't just kill the host. That would be a mistake. If the horntail larva died immediately, the meat would rot, and the young wasp would starve in a chamber of decay. Instead, guided by an ancient, terrifying evolutionary blueprint, the young parasite begins to feed on the host slowly. It consumes the non-essential fatty tissues first. It deliberately bypasses the vital organs, leaving the heart and the nervous system completely intact. It keeps the host alive, breathing, still moving in the dark. It is a living pantry, and biological archive of fresh meat preserved for weeks by nothing more than surgical precision. By the time the young wasp has consumed everything, it is ready to transform, to pupate inside its wooden chamber and emerge weeks later as a fully formed wasp, chewing through the final layer of wood to the surface and flying out into the world. The entire cycle happens inside a log you walk past every day. Now, here is the part that will matter most to you as a gardener. The horntail wasp larva she is hunting is a wood borer. And wood borers, when their populations go unchecked, are genuinely destructive. They weaken trees from the inside. They accelerate the structural failure of dead wood in ways that can affect living trees nearby. They are the reason foresters watch for signs of infestation, and the reason dead timber spreads damage if left entirely unmanaged. The stump stabber does not know any of this. She is not making a conservation decision. She is following an instinct refined across hundreds of millions of years. But the outcome of that instinct, played out across every woodland and garden with dead or dying wood, is biological control. Targeted, precise, and completely free. She is the reason the wood borer population in your yard is not larger than it is. And here is what her presence is actually telling you. She does not arrive in just any garden. The giant ichneumon wasp needs old wood, stumps that have been sitting long enough for horntail larvae to establish themselves inside. If she is there, your outdoor space has something most modern gardens have accidentally designed out of existence: structural complexity. Layers, undisturbed history. But how does something that thin drill through solid wood without snapping? The ovipositor is actually 3 interlocking filaments that slide against each other, functioning like a high-tension cable rather than a rigid wire. As she drills, her body secretes a specialized ionized fluid down these channels. This biochemical cocktail actively dissolves the wood's lignin and cellulose. Reinforced with metal ions, specifically manganese, the tip of her needle acts as a microscopic, zinc-hardened drill bit. She is quite literally melting a pathway through the tree, reducing friction to 0. So, what should you do if you find her? Step back and watch. She is not interested in you at all. Entomologists report that you could physically hold one in your open hand, and she would make no attempt to defend herself. She has no colony or queen to protect. Once that single egg is placed, she will simply withdraw her needle and fly off, leaving the log looking exactly as it did before. Now, you might think, why not just remove all dead wood and eliminate the problem entirely? Because a healthy garden needs that old log or stump. It is the foundation for rich soil, hosting everything from fungi to woodpeckers. Homeowners only clear it away out of fear that pests will spread to their healthy trees, and that is why the stump stabber matters. She is the biological safety net. By keeping the pest population under control, she allows your garden's natural ecosystem to thrive without risking your property. If you see her, something is right about your garden. Not wrong. Those structures are not eyesores to her. They are infrastructure. The version of a garden where everything is cleared and tidy is also very quietly, free of all of this. Have you ever seen one and had absolutely no idea what you were looking at? Tell me in the comments, especially if the ovipositor was the first thing you noticed. I read every single one. And if you want to see another creature doing extraordinary, invisible work in your garden, the next video is already waiting for you.